are here with Foster Care and Fashion, Conversations with Attorney Chanel Dupree. We are at CarePortal. I am so excited. Today we have Tate Williams and Abby Fry. So let's start off with what CarePortal is. What is CarePortal?
CarePortal is a bridge between churches and state agencies and child welfare agencies in order to help them collaborate together on behalf of children and families in crisis.
Okay, so what exactly does that mean on a very tangible level?
So it means three different things, three different levels are what we think of when we think of how we can actually, as the church, wrap around kids and families in crisis. We think about how we can meet their tier one, their physical needs, and the people that know those needs the best, we feel like most of the time are the social workers working directly with the kids. So we help those social workers connect with people sitting in church pews. And then also try and connect relationally, and then also becoming family for those kids.
The state of Texas is the largest child welfare system, state-run child welfare system in the country. So once their legal team approved it, it kind of gave the other states sort of an easier on-ramp.
Right.
So because we piloted it there, it was able to expand really quickly. So since 2014, in one county in Texas, CarePortal's expanded to 15 states.
Wow.
So there's about 1,600 participating congregations right now. In Kansas City alone, there's about 100 congregations, 120 congregations in the metro that are actively engaged in CarePortal.
And it makes sense. Like, it makes sense for churches to be connected to the child welfare system, for churches to meet that need, because it is a part of what the call and the creed is of folks who are following the Bible, right? It's in there about caring for the orphan and the widow and things of that sort. So it makes sense.
Yeah, the text that's really been impacting me personally recently is out of Mark chapter 10, where Jesus is ministering in the community, and the scriptures say that the community brought children to Jesus. And if you read into that with a sort of a child welfare lens, you kind of get this idea that these were unaccompanied minors. These were, the community had to bring them, not parents, but the community. They bring the children to the disciples. And the disciples are filtering who gets access to Jesus and who doesn't. And they make the determination that Jesus had other priorities than these children, so the text says that they sent them away. Jesus sees this, and he rebukes them, and he says, "Suffer the little children to come unto me, forbid them not. This is my work. This is the kingdom of heaven."
Absolutely.
And so often what we find is that, and what I found personally, is that who's making the decision as to who gets access to Jesus? The disciples are. The community is saying, hey, he has resources, he has help, he's declared that he cares for these children, so we're going to bring them to him. But often it's the disciples that are too busy or feel like their priorities of Jesus are somehow misaligned or different than the community's needs.
Wow.
But in reality, the community has identified that these children have needs.
Absolutely.
The state agency is in the position, there is no alternative. They are on the hook legally. The disciples are on the hook biblically. We now know that Jesus has prioritized these children, so we are without excuse. So it's really connecting the two that both have a mandate, one by law, one by scripture, to care for the same children and families.
I love it. The same goal, but for different reasons.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so in your perspective, do you feel like there's a need, right?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a massive need for the church to step into this space. I think that scripture is really clear that the end goal isn't to meet every need. The end goal is to be available. And Jesus is very clear in Matthew 25 that he'll return and he'll hold us accountable. Those who call him Lord will be held accountable based on some very practical things. And he'll say, hey, I came and visited you and you were too busy. I was naked. I was hungry. I was the addict. I was the prisoner. I was the returning citizen. I was the undocumented immigrant. I was that child.
The forgotten.
I was the marginalized, and you did or did not make time for me. And so I think there's an urgency to this work because of that reality, that the church needs to be supported and equipped. It's overwhelming. It's overwhelming to be in this space as a Christian and not know the lingo and the language and the acronyms, just as overwhelming as it is, even obviously more so overwhelming for families who don't understand the terminology and how to navigate the system. But it's imperative for Christians to be in that space advocating for children and families in crisis. So I think there's urgency from that standpoint. The other reality is there's practical urgency. There's more children than ever in the history of the state of Kansas in foster care.
Yes.
There's more children in the history of the state of Missouri in foster care than ever before. Nationally, there's trends of more children coming into foster care. Now, there's all sorts of reasons as to why, and we can negotiate and talk about why that is, but the reality is it's there. So the needs are urgent. There's fewer homes available than ever before, you know, so on and so forth. So there's real practical, tangible needs on that side of it. But then there's this urgency biblically that we have a mandate that we are or are not kind of stepping into. And
I love I don't know if it's the logo or the motto, but every church doing a little.